My name is Mike. I'm 32, and I'm from Compton, California. So I grew up in Compton, California. Um, Very gang infested. So for me, it was a lot of killings, drugs. In Compton, I was with my mom, and then my mom moved to the Bay Area. So I ended up staying with my grandmother, my uncle, and my sister. As far as I can remember, no relationship with my father at all. Not one thing. Can't even remember or think of a time where the other man told me that he loved me. I think it was a lot of stuff. Me being the oldest boy, um, I had to grow up and mature very fast. So it was a lot of stuff that I missed out on as a child because I had to be a teenager when I was still a kid, and I had to be an adult when I was still a teenager. So I had to grow up faster than most kids. So on the days where on the weekends where kids would be outside playing, I would be going to work with my uncle. But those lessons taught me and gave me the drive that I have now to just get off my butt and just go get it because I didn't have that father figure. But I feel like it helped me with my adult life as far as my drive, my mentality, and how I go at things, and just how I hustle. So my father, when I was young, he used to beat on my mother a lot. Whether it was him coming in the house, high off drugs, drunk. And at that time, me as a kid, being small, I was just thinking about just protecting my baby brother at the time. Um, but you could hear these noises, whether it's my mom screaming, whether it's things like getting moved or thrown around the house. So you knew what was going on as a kid. And then obviously the proof when you see her and it's black eyes and bruises and and the mom is just, I did it to myself. I failed. But as you get older you understand where it comes from. I was just angry at everything. Like that was my coping method at the time was just anger. Like if I didn't like something, anger. If something didn't go my way, anger. And for me, knowing that I could not do anything or protect my mother when I was young at that age, and it stirs something in me so angry to where I will almost black out and see red.
What's good? I'm Jordan. Go by JC. 24 years old, straight out of Oakland, California, born and raised. Like growing up in Oakland, East Oakland to be exact. It was rough. It was so rough that like I couldn't really have no childhood. Like growing up in East Oakland, you like seen stuff. You seen everything that a man sees or an adult sees as a kid. So like just me seeing like people under cars, like I seen this dude. I think we was on 87, and he was driving up and down the street like fast, like on the motorcycle. Ended up being under a car, dead. We seen that. We seen like car explosions happen right outside our house. Like people getting gunned down. Right on the corner from where we live. All of that. So just in, even like little stuff, not even like major things, but like little fights and stuff at school, and little fights turn into big mobs, and somebody getting jumped, or we on the news or something like that. Like, you feel me? So just the surroundings in East Oakland wasn't too good coming up. It was real rough. Um, I mean, that's how you make a diamond, though. So being in that area, it do something to you. It kind of like solidify you. Not even solidify, just mold your soul for real. Seeing all that negativity, but you also seeing the positivity that is in it also. So like it's rough coming up, but you also see like a rose out the concrete, cause like all the artists and all the art that came from it, like that just makes it a whole nother part of that makes it a whole nother city. Like, it's not even negative no more if you look at the beauty in it, like the art in it, all of the communities and all of that. That's beautiful. But as far as like outside of that, people like get hopped at the lake and stuff. Like when kids is there and stuff, like some crazy stuff happen. People like get their lives taken away in an instant in Oakland, and you wouldn't even know it's gonna happen. Some crazy stuff gonna happen outside clubs. People get shot up right outside of clubs. Like, it's downtown Oakland, but people get shot at lakes like it's a holiday. But it's real wild. It's real. Um, where's my dad in the situation? Well, in my life. Um, that's an interesting story. Growing up, I just grew up with my siblings. It was me, my sister, my brother, two additional brothers, and my mom. And my dad wasn't even known about. So, like, my mom thought that my father was my brother's father, but it wasn't. And she said she started seeing like the facial features and stuff like around 12, and she had you know she had suspected that it was somebody else just because how I grew up, and my features. But she didn't let me know that until later on in life. Um, yeah, around like 16, I believe she let me know that I might have a different dad. Yeah, she gonna get the test done, and that was like, I don't know, that was something that I was harping on, but like I kind of wasn't. Like, it was a weird feeling to just, get told that, oh yeah, bro, you might have a different dad, knowing that this one dude who's supposed to be your dad, not even in your life in the first place, and then you get told somebody else might be your dad, and he don't even know that he might be your dad. So it's a lot of like emotions going on. I don't know where to direct them, whether it be towards my mom, because she did take fault for it, but that's mom's, like, you feel me, she raised me. But not knowing, for all that time, it didn't really faze me, because like nobody was there in the first place. I had my mom. My mom was my dad and my mom, but that's not, how I was taught. I was taught that, there's supposed to be a man in the house, be the head of the house, and with a wife there. But hey, stories don't always play out like how they should. Uh, I met him for the first time, I think when I was about 20 or 21. Yeah, he was in Kankakee, Illinois. Real countryside. I feel like that's where my whole family from, was Chicago, and I'm, the black sheep. So, uh, but meeting him, going out there to Kankakee, and seeing him, it was like, oh yeah, I could see. I wanted to be in denial at first, like, bro, I don't see myself in you, bro. Like, I don't see you in me, bro. So, but after a while, and pictures and research and all of that, I believed it. And we kind of got like the same mannerisms and the same kind of characteristics, aesthetic and stuff like that. So um, I realized that was who my dad was, and it was easy for me to accept that. Yeah, it was hard at first, but growing up and getting older, sometimes you just brush it off, and you realize your parents, or anybody older than you, aunties, grandmas, they had a life before. Um, it would have been nice to have, dad in the house. Okay, look where we at now. Still living, still motivated, and we still talk to this day. So that's a good thing. He's not a deadbeat. But yeah.
Growing up was a little rough because I was a bad seed and I was getting into all kinds of things. Everything that you can imagine, I was doing. So it was a little rough growing up. Going in and out of juvie for robbery, stealing, and beating up people or whatever. Both of my parents were in the home, but they couldn't control me. I was I was just uncontrollable at the time. I got all the whoopings. You know, the whoopings I got, they can't whoop you like that no more. It just made me go even harder. First time I went to jail, I didn't get caught for a long time, so the first time had to be as a juvenile. I believe it was stealing. I was stealing. Back in those days, we used to steal cars. So, and go joyriding and robbing. So, yeah, that'll be the first time I went to jail. It was actually fun. That's how we looked at it. It looked like fun. You want to do but 21 days and get out. So, oh man, my dad, he was tough. He was tough. He was gonna get me, even though I was in jail. He was gonna get me. Even my mom too though, but not like that. Um, we had a good relationship. He did what he could when he could. He worked. He had to take care of his family, so that's what he did. But at the same time, he spent time when he could at like little league baseball games. So yeah, we tried weed on their back porch, and after trying it that first time, we were going to buy our own dime bags after that. Well, as I grew up, I got introduced to another drug, cocaine. And my first time doing cocaine, I didn't like it. It had me where I couldn't breathe. I had to like burp in order to get air to breathe. And then I didn't do it for a long time after that. And then one of my partners, who we used to do armed robberies together without the drug. But he introduced me to it again. And after that, that's when I liked it. The drugs didn't do that to me. I already had the heart to do it. I wasn't scared of nobody. So everything I was doing, they were saying that most people on coke, they do that to boost them up to do stuff. I didn't need the drug. So the things that they were doing back then, they were doing it on high, and I wasn't. But it was just something that I liked. It was my surrounding, my friends. Everybody was doing it. We were all doing it. It was a crew of us. All of us used to have like 38. The whole crew. It was a lot of. It was about 7 of us, and we just would, that's what we did. We met Yolanda and a couple of her friends, but when we met for the first time, I wasn't talking to Yolanda. My friend Holiday was talking to her, and I was talking to the other girl. So we met that for the first time, but we didn't get to, actually meet each other and get to know each other. We're going back to Fort Myers, and I end up taking the Greyhound back once we get to Missouri, because the police was looking for me. So I ended up taking the Greyhound back to Kankakee and staying. And maybe a month later is when I met Yolanda again. But this time it was me and her. I was talking to her. And then we started a love affair. We started dating, and from our dating, we fell in love. And there came a point where I had to go back to Florida, and I took her with me. I'll never forget the day that we left. When we was leaving, her mom was like, "I'm taking her baby." She's crying, "You taking my baby?" And I just wanted to let her know that I got her. She my baby now. I got her. So we ended up coming to Florida, but I wasn't ready to have Yolanda at that time because I was into things, doing things. She thought I was going and selling dope, but I was robbing people. You don't get money selling dope that fast. So it didn't work out. I ended up going to jail, and she ended up coming back to Kankakee. She was pregnant with Amari, my baby girl. But I wasn't mature enough at that point to do what I need to do, because I was still a kid. It was my first bid. This was right after Amari was born. I think she was about 6 months when I did my first bid in prison. I had caught 3.5 years prison time, state time. I ended up doing 30 months. Actually, before I got out, I changed my life and went to seeking God. And I sought God because I had done everything. And I said to myself, you've done all the bad. it's time to give God a try. So since that time, I started giving God a try, and God He's been blessing me every day. Every day before I got out to now, me being out, me being here to see my family, here to see my daughter, and give her a chance to, not only to give her a chance to get to know me, but I just got to see my first granddaughter, my grandson, my beautiful wife, and all my son-in-laws, and so he just been blessing me, and I'm just trying to do the will of God with my life now, Yeah, I would say he's proud, but he's a proud man. He's never I guess you could say I never heard him say good job, son, or I'm proud of you. I can't remember him saying that, but I know he's proud. I know he is. I would really appreciate it. It would make me happy to hear those words.